All right, next step here. This job should be fairly straightforward, but it's only going to work if you follow instructions. You need to follow instructions very exactly on this job in order to get it done properly. And it matters because this is really going to help me learn all your names and have a reference. So we're going to take a headshot and we're going to name it properly. Notice right here I've given you the exact scheme that I want you to use for the name. We're going to use your first and last names, which block you're in, and what it is. What is this file that we're creating? In this case, headshot is an easy way to call it. You could call it mugshot. You could call it anything that's very clearly descriptive of what that is. And this is the schema that I want you to use for all files in design technology. If you have a file that goes onto one of our pieces of equipment, the laser cutter, the 3D printers, the CNC router, the sticker cutter, any of the machines that we've got, any file that you create, this is the format that it needs to be in. When I find files on there called unknown, untitled, unnamed, random stuff like that, I just delete them. I don't even bother to try to figure out what it is because you haven't bothered to try to follow the instructions. When you name it properly, then I can make sure that that file gets back to you. It also makes it easier for us to search for files that go missing because they're named well with things that we know are going to be in there. And then we're going to crop and resize that and possibly recolor it a little bit depending on how you feel it comes out. So the first thing we need to do is go open up Photo Booth so we can take a shot. So I'm going to go up into the corner here. In the corner of my Mac screen, I'm going to click that magnifying glass to bring up this spotlight search field and just start typing Photo Booth. Then I'll hit return and that opens it right up. I could also hold down the command key and hit the space bar to bring up that search field. So here I've already got a shot taken of myself, and notice that I've set my face so that it fills up the screen. I leaned forward toward the camera until I was pretty clearly filling up the screen. I don't want a shot like this with a little tiny head in the back. Make sure that you get a nice big head. And don't worry about the other stuff in the background. We're going to crop that out in the very next step. So once you've got it, you're going to get your face in the right spot. You're going to click here. It's going to go 3, 2, 1. You've probably done this a dozen times. No effects, please. No fanciness. Just a straightforward shot of you. Now we're going to get that shot out of Photo Booth. We're going to right click, and I'm going to note that that's a right click there, not a left click. If I left click, nothing happens. Only a right click. And then choose Export. And then here's where you're going to put that name in. So we're going to highlight that and we're going to rename this. First name, mine's Matthew. No capitals, no spaces, nothing fancy, just your name. And then your last name, mine's Miller. Start with a capital. That way I can tell where the second name starts. If you have a hyphenated last name, go ahead and put that in, that's fine. If you have a middle name, you could put that in there, but I don't want it. I just want your first name and your last name. And then I want a hyphen and the block that you're in. And then a hyphen and a description for what this file is. In this case, this is my headshot. That's it. Don't put .jpg at the end of that. It's already there. I know, it doesn't look like it's there. It's really there. The computer automatically adds that. If you put .jpg there, it's going to be named .jpg.jpg. Don't do that. Now, right here, this little drop down brings up a much bigger window with all kinds of other options. You can set your favorites up, as I have, to have a specific order, but look in here for look in here for documents. It's going to be there. It may not be exactly in the same place. In fact, it probably won't be. And then you can click Save and save that file, properly named, into your Documents folder, ready for the next step.